What if we told you that one of the most terrifying inventions was created by the man who established the Nobel Peace Prize? Yes, we're talking about Alfred Nobel, the Swedish chemist, engineer and inventor who is best known for inventing dynamite. In 1867, Nobel mixed nitroglycerin with an absorbent substance, creating a stable yet powerful explosive. He named it dynamite, derived from the Greek word dynamis, meaning power. Nobel's dynamite was a revolution in the world of construction. It made tunneling through mountains and blasting rocks a much safer and faster process. But the irony here is as explosive as the invention itself. The man who aimed at making the world a safer place ended up creating something that would become a tool for destruction. Nobel's dynamite was quickly adopted for military use, transforming warfare drastically. It was used in World War I and II, causing devastation and loss of life on an unimaginable scale. Nobel, however, was deeply affected when his obituary was mistakenly published in a French newspaper, calling him the Merchant of Death. This led him to establish the Nobel Prizes in his will, aiming to honor those who conferred the greatest benefit to mankind. Among these prizes, the most famous is the Nobel Peace Prize, awarded to those who have made significant contributions to peace. It's a chilling paradox. The inventor of an explosive that caused so much destruction also established a prize promoting peace and goodwill. This irony continues to echo through history, reminding us of the dual nature of human invention. It's a stark reminder that the tools we create can be used for both constructive and destructive purposes. The choice lies in our hands. So, let's remember Alfred Nobel, not just as the inventor of dynamite, but as a man who sought to create a legacy of peace, even as his invention was used for war. Little did Nobel know that his invention would become a tool for destruction, not construction. From explosions to cold, calculated executions, our next terrifying invention is the guillotine. As we step back into the pages of history, we find ourselves in the year 1792, during the throes of the French Revolution. Amidst the chaos and upheaval, an invention emerged that would forever change the landscape of capital punishment: the guillotine. Named after Dr. Joseph Ignace Guillotine, who ironically was against capital punishment, the guillotine was introduced as a swift and humane alternative to the gruesome methods of execution prevalent at the time. Its design was simple yet chillingly effective: a tall upright frame, with a weighted and angled blade suspended at the top. The guillotine promised a quick and painless death. The condemned person's head was secured at the base of the frame, and with the swift drop of the blade, their life was ended in an instant. The idea was that this method would eliminate the prolonged suffering often associated with other forms of execution. However, as the French Revolution intensified, the guillotine found itself at the center of a horrifying period known as the Reign of Terror. From 1793 to 1794, thousands of people were executed by the guillotine. Nobles, clergy, and commoners alike, no one was safe from its deadly blade. The guillotine's heavy blade fell with such frequency during this period that it was said the streets of Paris ran red with blood. The chilling sound of the blade's drop became a grim reminder of the revolution's cost, striking fear into the hearts of the people. Eventually, the use of the guillotine as a method of execution fell out of favor. Yet its legacy remained. It became a potent symbol of the French Revolution, a reminder of the chaos, the bloodshed, and the terror that once gripped the nation. Even though it was intended to be a more humane method of execution, the guillotine became a symbol of fear and oppression. We've seen inventions that kill individuals, but what about those that can wipe out entire cities or even countries? Enter the nuclear bomb. In the thick of the Second World War, a new era of destruction was ushered in. The Manhattan Project, a covert operation led by the United States with the help of Canada and the United Kingdom, sought to harness the power of nuclear fission. The goal was to create a weapon of unparalleled destruction, a weapon that could end the war and establish a new world order. The science behind the atomic bomb is as fascinating as it is terrifying. It involves splitting the nucleus of an atom, which releases an immense amount of energy. The first successful test, codenamed Trinity, took place in July 1945, in the New Mexico desert. The mushroom cloud that rose into the sky that day marked the dawn of the atomic age. A month later, this fearsome invention was used in combat. The cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan were chosen as the targets. The bombs named Little Boy and Fat Man killed over 100,000 people instantly. The aftermath was even more horrifying. Radiation sickness claimed thousands more lives in the months that followed. The scars of these events are still visible today, in the form of survivors and their descendants, who continue to suffer from the effects of radiation exposure. The bombings shocked the world, and they led to Japan's surrender, effectively ending the war. But they also marked the beginning of the nuclear arms race, as nations around the world sought to harness this powerful new technology. Today, there are estimated to be over 13,000 nuclear weapons globally, each one capable of causing destruction on a scale unimaginable. The nuclear bomb did not just change the course of war, it changed the course of history. It brought us into an age where mankind now has the power to destroy our world. It's a sobering thought, isn't it? The nuclear bomb brought us into an age where we now have the power to destroy our world. What's scarier than a visible enemy? An invisible one. Biological weapons, the next on our list, are just that. The concept of biological warfare isn't new. It dates back to medieval times when belligerents catapulted plague-infected bodies over city walls to spread disease among their enemies. A macabre tactic, yes, but it underscores the lengths to which humanity will go when driven by conflict. Fast forward to the 20th century, and the sophistication of these weapons has grown exponentially. During World War I, both sides used poisonous gases, a primitive but deadly form of biological warfare. However, it was in the subsequent decades that the true potential for mass casualties became evident. The Cold War saw a clandestine race between the Soviet Union and the United States to develop potent bioweapons. These included anthrax, smallpox, and even the Ebola virus, all weaponized and ready to deploy at a moment's notice. The aim was not just to kill but to instill fear and chaos. Imagine, if you will, an enemy that you can't see, can't hear, and can't touch, but can kill you in a matter of days. The greatest concern with biological weapons is the difficulty in controlling them. Once a biological agent is released, it can spread rapidly, mutating and adapting to its environment. This unpredictability makes it a double-edged sword. Not only can it cause mass casualties, but it can also rebound on those who unleash it. Today, in the age of genetic engineering and synthetic biology, the potential for bioweapons has increased exponentially. Scientists can now engineer viruses and bacteria, making them more virulent, resistant to vaccines, or capable of targeting specific racial or ethnic groups. These developments underscore the terrifying power of biological weapons. They are not just weapons of mass destruction, they are weapons of mass disruption, capable of destabilizing societies and economies. In the wrong hands, these invisible enemies can turn our own bodies against us. We've journeyed through time, witnessing the evolution of terrifying inventions. But what does the future hold? Autonomous killer robots. Let's delve into a potential reality that might seem straight out of a science fiction movie. Picture machines with the capability to make life and death decisions, independent of human intervention. Yes, we're talking about autonomous killer robots, or as they're more formally known, lethal autonomous weapons or laws. These aren't just hypothetical constructs of a dystopian future. They're a very real possibility. With the rapid advancements in artificial intelligence and robotics, we're edging closer to a time when machines could potentially possess the autonomy to decide who lives and who dies. But with such power, come grave ethical concerns. The very idea of a machine being in control of such momentous decisions is enough to send chills down one's spine. The potential misuse of these autonomous weapons is another major concern. In the wrong hands, these machines could wreak havoc, causing unimaginable destruction. They could be programmed to target specific ethnic groups, used to suppress dissent, or even unleashed in conflicts without due consideration for the laws of war. The risk of an arms race in these autonomous weapons is also real. Nations may feel compelled to develop or acquire these weapons to maintain a strategic edge, leading to a potentially dangerous escalation. However, it's not all doom and gloom. Some argue that these machines could reduce casualties in war by making more accurate decisions, eliminating the fog of war and the human error element. But the question remains, should we allow machines to make such critical decisions? And if we do, how do we ensure they adhere to the principles of humanity and the laws of war? There's no easy answer. The debate is ongoing and the stakes are high. As we stand on the precipice of this new era, it's crucial that we tread with caution. In the future, we may not need to fear the weapons but the autonomous machines wielding them.